Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, we're back with yet another Pointer's problem before we get this episode kicked off. Pointer has a problem with expensive cars. Yes, expensive cars. Now, I know you're going to say, oh, you're just too broke to afford it, but no. That car should not be $300,000. I don't care if the gold was imported from the gold rushes of California. No. I don't want to pay for no expensive car. Little Pointer, expensive cars?
My thought is no.
He doesn't even have to say anything else. No, but he is saying yes to this episode of The Last Talk Show. Are you saying yes?
Yes.
You're saying yes, yes.
Yes, yes.
Yes, yes, yes?
Yes, yes.
Well, let's do it. Yes! Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome back to your favorite show. What an honor and a privilege it is to be here with you today. Before we go any further, I do want to state that others have come before us. Others will come after us. But this is The Last Talk Show, and you love it, and you love it. But this is a very, very, very special episode. Normally, I have two wonderful guests to the right of me to analyze culture, but this guest is so magnificent, so perfect, so sensational, she doesn't even need a guest. She doesn't need a second guest. She's all by herself because she can analyze dutifully and beautifully. So would you please clap it up for the wonderful artiste, Ashley Fountain. Clap it up. Make it loud, make it nice. So honored to have her with us today. Before we dive deep into culture, I want you to get to know her just a little better. So Ashley, would you tell the viewer about you?
Well, I am from Boston, Massachusetts, and moved out to LA about 4 years ago to pursue acting, art, singing, anything art related. I'm all about.
A Jan of all trades. Clap it up for Ashley. So glad to have you on the show.
Thank you so
for
much.
coming out. She's an artiste, so while we analyze culture, she's actually going to do some sketch. I don't know what it is, but I'm extremely excited no matter what, because she's so talented.
And I predominantly use my fingers, so I just say like I'm a finger painter. That's my default.
Never clap it up. I'm never
my
even heard of
default.
that. I love it. And that's why we have these two, to use them for whatever purpose artistically.
Yes,
that's a beautiful thing.
precisely.
That's a beautiful thing. So I'm not going to interrupt you, but we're going to analyze together while you do your work, your magic, and let's just do it. So the first category of the show, Ashley, is unpleasant predicaments. This is where we look back on life. And unfortunately, we have experienced predicaments, some that are unpleasant. But now that we have gone through, we've persevered, and we've made our way to the victory of sorts, we can look back and hopefully laugh at them and look back on what made that situation unpleasant and what made it a predicament. Let's get down to the first predicament. Predicament number one. What is your most unpleasant experience shopping on Amazon?
Oh my gosh. The Prime bill, the Amazon Prime bill.
Bill,
that catches up. It catches up with you every year, and you forget you signed up for it. And then I notice in my bank account $99 has been deducted. I'm like, I can't afford that.
I can't do it. But then you call them, and it's like, oh, you should have canceled before you. You know, it's.
And like Amazon, they're pretty lenient. They're pretty cool because they have so many customers.
Yeah.
And they get so much money. Like
Jeff, we know what you're doing.
you can sign up and cancel. Like it's always like a push pull. So I canceled my subscription earlier this year, and then had to order something, and mistakenly signed up again for the Prime.
Oh, two $99 bills.
They don't charge you that $99 until I think the whole year, the whole fiscal year.
Whoa, I might sign
so
up for
when
that.
I was able to cancel, they were like, "Oh, you're only going to be charged $7.99 because we were still able to ship out your thing early." So thank you,
That
Amazon.
worked out. Thank you, Jeff. We're making your pockets fatter, so you should thank us. But
I believe we're replacing the Amazon rainforest with Amazon.com, but what can you do?
what can you do? All you can do is shop on Amazon. I literally ordered stuff for the show, and it got there the next day.
It's
too
the best.
quick.
It's too
quick. I was
good.
like, why?
It's an abusive relationship.
It is. It's toxic. It's like I see the benefits, I see the negatives.
It's super toxic.
It can be toxic. toxic. Let's go to the next predicament. Predicament number 2. Your unpleasant McDonald's.
Every time I'm there.
Oh my gosh, Ashley, no!
And it is true. It's a drunk man's meal.
Yeah,
It is not
yeah.
a sober meal at all. And
Clap that up. It's true.
clap
It's
it
true.
up.
It's true. It's true. You're not going there for
I feel-
quality or the best of the best. It's McDonald's.
I feel terrible every time I'm there.
don't feel
But,
terrible.
you know,
It's there for a reason. It's to serve us the purpose of
It
making us feel
is.
good and fill our stomachs. I like how Ashley put it. She said it's a drunk man's meal, which means it's like bar food, essentially.
yes. And
It's,
I've had some like wild nights and then you go to McDonald's to top it off and
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
delicious.
Just because you're not
And I'll
all
really be
there.
like, it really is delicious when you're hammered.
That's true. That is true. It's like when buddies of mine will go through Jack in the Box at 2 and 3 a.m. and get 87 tacos.
Yes.
It's like, it's the best tacos ever. It's like, well, you're not all there with us.
Yeah.
And you're also, you know,
And you also like
up at 2
feel
a.m.
you feel naughty with your friends being there. You're
Yeah.
like, I can't believe we're doing this
Right.
again.
It's that kind of rush experience that you get. I love it.
Exactly.
Let's go to the next category of the show. What does that even mean? Now, Ashley, today many of our young folk in the school system and all throughout the world, essentially, are using these terms that I just don't know what they mean, Ashley. You know, I'll be walking by and I'll hear young students, as I am somewhat of a teacher, and they'll say, oh, this or that or that or this. And I'm like, what are you talking about? I don't know. Maybe I'm just not woken up. I'm not hip enough. I'm not
That's
cool enough.
exactly
So,
what it is.
You know, so me and Ashley, it's our job to analyze culture. We're going to see what does that even mean. Let's go to the first. What does that even mean? Body, Ody, Ody. Ashley, help me.
It's a Megan Thee Stallion lyric song.
Whoa, Ashley knows about the culture. Okay.
And the dances I see like on Instagram reels
Yeah.
are fantastic.
Oh.
So I respect it.
Okay.
I respect the song.
So the song, yes, she definitely says it, but what do you think she means when Meg Thee Stallion says you've got body, Ody, Ody?
Like an actual body. I cannot sing that song. I don't have a body.
Well,
I'm like a
I'm
plane.
not judging. I think Ashley looks great, but hey, don't care for her. But
I'm jealous of anyone who can like
no,
relate to that
it's-
song.
So you're saying when Meg Thee Stallion sings that, she's saying that person is
has a body, and I don't think
shapely?
it's strictly to shapely women. I think
Okay.
it's just if you're feeling your body, you're feeling your body.
You've got
and
body, Ody.
You have
Ody.
a body. Use
Yeah.
it no matter what.
I get it. Okay. So she's promoting
Body positivity.
Oh, I like what you were going to say.
Yeah.
That. Body, Ody.
Body, positivity. Exactly.
That's good. Let's go to the next. What does that even mean? I think we've got another exciting one. Actually, you might have to help me out here when people will
This
say.
one drives me nuts
Period.
because I didn't catch when it like became a thing.
Right,
so
right.
I'm like, yeah, period. How do you say it?
Period.
Period.
Yeah,
I
it's
go
like
period.
you're like emphasis.
I go period dot.
Yeah,
I
I've
go
seen that
period
too.
dot, and it's
Period.
just no. It's like a succinct statement about
Yeah,
something.
it's like it's so period that it's final. It's the conclusion.
That's it.
That's it. It's done.
It's always accompanied with attitude.
That's why when me and Ashley did it, if you notice, we had to like period.
Yeah, you have to
You know,
like
you
put
gotta
your
put
neck
your neck
into it a
into
little
there. You gotta
bit.
move that hand a little. Put a little sauce and soul in it.
A little sauce
That's
and
what they be
soul.
doing on the shade room. Period. Okay. Let's go to the next category. We analyzed that beautifully. The next category of the show is one of my favorites. It's called expertise. Now, unfortunately, a lot of people have had unpleasant experiences with their former partner, who they
Yes.
may now consider an ex. So this
Yes.
category helps us to look back on some of those moments. We don't want to dig up old demons. If it's something you don't want to speak on, of course, we'll push on through. But that experience kind of helps shape our view today.
For
It
sure.
kind of helps us arrive at certain conclusions on what we did previously, and now we'll know what to do in the future. So we're going to be presented with a few topics or questions or thoughts, and it's our job to analyze these expertise options. Let's go to the first one. Your ex says they will shoot you if you don't get back with them. Ashley, this is pretty toxic.
I'd be like, why are they using my line?
Oh!
No. I have been in a toxic relationship
no.
before. You don't realize you're in it until you're out of it. And even if you're like, I remember being in it and talking about like the toxic behavior, and I'm like, wow, I sound like a poster child for like a toxic relationship. No, but it's fine. But
You made it
that
through.
that stuff is like called, I believe, emotional blackmail.
Yes.
Yeah.
And some people weaponize it so significantly, it's scary.
Yeah, and it's because it's almost like they're acting out as children. Like they're not getting their way, so they have a temper tantrum, say hurtful things. It's all very visceral. They're not thinking.
They're not thinking.
And
They're
then,
not thinking.
But these same people who say these things, these very destructive things, I do believe time does catch up with them eventually. And then that's when shame, guilt, more resentment, and then the cycle kind of continues because they're not really dealing with it.
Wrap it up. Ashley is going deep on the last talk show, and I appreciate it.
I'm almost glad I kind of went through that, so that,
see, that's the benefit.
you know, you live and you learn. And now when if I catch people I know in similar relationships, I know how to handle it and approach it.
See? And that's why sometimes my dear mother and my sister will attack me. I'll say things like, oh, I'm glad I went through that. I learned from it. I'm glad that I almost got scammed, or I'm glad that I dated this person. And, oh, that's dumb. Why would you say you wanted to get your heart broken or get cheated on by that girl? And it's like, no, I learned from it.
Yes,
you know, and
exactly.
I don't always agree with experience is the best teacher. I believe you never have to do cocaine to know not to do cocaine.
Yes, exactly.
I need to experience that for that to teach me something. But at any rate, when you're dealing with something like this, and even like you and I, most likely we've been in somewhat toxic relationships, it's good to come out of it victorious and to know what to do for next time, what not to do for next time. It's a beautiful thing. So clap it up. Ashley is killing it. Let's go to the next expertise. Your ex starts dating your relative.
Oh, God.
Oh, that's a tough one.
I don't think I'd ever be able to not like say something or poke fun at them. Like especially at a family gathering.
Yeah, like at Thanksgiving dinner at the one little table, well, some big, some little, but medium size. And it's like, you dated that person.
Yeah.
And now, I don't know if it's grandma, I don't know if it's your brother, I don't know if it's your cousin, I don't know if it's your whoever.
Oh my God. I'd be like, you know what, if you're in love, it is what it is, but also does he do the same thing that he did with me? Did he take you to this place just like he
same script?
Yeah.
See, and that's a great point, because would you talk to your relative? Would you cut your relative off, or would you be like, let me share with you what happened
I
to
think
me?
I would absolutely talk to them.
Okay, good.
I don't think you cannot.
Good.
And if they had a problem with whatever I'd say, then I'd cut them out.
Right. And I'm glad you're willing to keep it real.
Yeah.
Because most people are not. But when it comes to a situation like this, it's just so awkward.
It is.
You know, because
I hope to God that's never happened to you.
Well, you'd be surprised with some relatives, and mainly when you have a bunch of relatives.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh, well, you're technically my third cousin on my barber's side, and the grandma in the back house, and blah, blah, blah. But it's like, we're still kind of related.
There you go.
And I still view you as family.
It's true.
And you knew I was dating that individual. And Tyrone, if you're watching, I don't like you. And I'm just joking. I love you, Tik. I love you. But yeah, it's a very awkward situation. So you said you would definitely talk to the relative. Would you talk to the ex?
No. Absolutely not.
So what you gonna do at Thanksgiving? You're at the table, you're talking to your relative, and then you just roll your eyes every time. So like relative, roll your eye, relative. What you gonna do?
I think I would use like any opportunity to shame them, because the whole family's gonna know. It's not like it's gonna be just between the three of you guys.
Yeah. For your family to allow it, are they wrong?
Yeah.
Well. Let's say they're, like you said, it's love, so you don't want to just shut out and no, you can't love who you are. But it's a very difficult place.
I'm sure my family, knowing my family, they would just love the drama. They'd be like, oh yes, something's happening, something's going on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's tough. We analyzed this great. I think we went deep. Let's go to the next category of the show, cultural analysis. Arguably the most popular category on the show, Ashley. The fans love it. I love it. It's where we look at the beast called Twitter. Do you have a Twitter?
I don't. So I signed up. Good. I signed up for Twitter when it first came out.
Wow.
I've only like this YouTuber was promoting it on her page.
Yeah.
I was a huge fan of hers. I'm like, oh, if she's doing it, I'm gonna do it.
Yeah,
I think I was 15, 16. Anyways,
Wow.
I signed up, did like one tweet. I'm like, what's the point? I have no followers, like no one's on this.
Yeah.
And to watch it like explode
Yeah.
and to be used for virtually everything
Oh Lord, too much.
is very, it's
Crazy. And you were
world we
there from
live in.
almost day one.
Yeah.
So it's like, do you wish you had stayed active so now maybe
little
you'd be
bit.
a poppin', I mean,
yeah, because
maybe, because some have been there since day one and they still only have 2 followers.
yeah, and a lot of
Last talk show.
but then they get like they grab most of the attention because they've been like peddling at it for so long.
Yeah,
So a lot of like
yeah.
comedians who have used it, like I know some people who got like some internet fame for some tweets
Yeah.
they did.
Yeah, me too.
And even some writing gigs
Yes.
over a tweet.
Over a tweet. You couldn't even, and for a long time period of time, it was a shortened character limit. I think it still is.
Yeah,
But
I
at a certain
believe
point, it was
so.
even a smaller character limit. It could literally be a few sentences, and to get writing gigs off that, clap it up for them.
Yeah.
That's good. That's good.
But I also believe it's like anything, if it's anything that gets like too much like idolization and use can become toxic.
Yes, and Twitter. I kind of wanted to get to that before we get
So
to
when
our
it went
tweets.
into like politics, when it melts into politics, that's when it's like, oh
It
God,
gets real
this
messy,
is very
actually.
dystopian.
It gets real messy.
Yes.
Because Twitter is now, some people, of course, some of these tweets will read, and it's just like, Twitter is awesome for sports, but it sucks for politics. It's like, no one is happy about the political discourse on Twitter.
No.
I don't think.
Some people love to get into it.
But it's...
Some people love the drama of it, and they'll just be reckless because they don't see the consequences that come out of it, which is enraging a bunch of different
Right.
groups.
There's
and
no consequences directly for them, but everybody else, it's like, you're a troll.
trolls, I believe.
Trolls.
Trolls.
Let's go to the first tweet. We kind of touched on our Amazon shopping, but I wanted to bring this great tweet. At work, Amazon shopping in the bathroom. That's from Joex Ellie Live Studio. How do you feel about this one? All right, I love it. Have you ever been at work Amazon shopping in the bathroom?
Yes, Amazon shopping, Craigslist shopping.
Craigslist shopping. I mean, it's when you're at, I mean, this is not too personal, but personal. I don't know who doesn't use their phone in the bathroom. Nowadays, it's like,
Everyone takes their phone, and
what else is this you gonna do?
I always feel suspicious too, like when I run back to get it, like, oh, I forgot my phone, like especially if I'm like around like a guy or something.
Yeah,
And I'm like,
yeah,
I'm not
yeah,
gonna
yeah.
be texting anybody else. I'm just gonna be doing some Amazon
Right.
shopping.
That's good. Yeah. I try. I don't know if I'm in a certain mood when I shop on Amazon. It's like I have to be in like a business mindset. I think when I'm at
Really?
work, I try not to be a distraction and get my mind off of work. So I try to stay on work. So when I'm in the restroom, I'm normally reading the news or things like that. But you're saying at any time you can Amazon shop. Anytime.
Anytime.
Clap it up.
Anytime.
Clap it up. Yeah, but before we go to the next tweet, I want to ask, what are some of the standard items in your Amazon cart or even on your wish list? What are some things you're looking forward to?
Oh, it's a lot of like home appliances.
I had a feeling, but I think most of us, now the wish list
It's
can
all
get
like
crazy. But.
things that like will help me feel more of like an adult and
that's
have my
good.
life in order, because I don't have the money to go to Crate and Barrel or Macy's or Nordstrom's to buy like all these high-end
That's okay.
like kitchenware things.
That's okay.
So Amazon's where it's at. But I have like maybe like $300 worth of stuff.
In your Amazon cart?
Yeah, just like pending, just waiting.
Are you gonna? 'Cause I remember-
Camping stuff too. Camping gear.
going camping.
Yeah, that's a good spot to go.
Yes, Amazon. I mean, they have everything. That's like, you
Everything.
can't not. We had a guest yesterday, and he was like, "Yeah, I don't use Amazon. I've never used it." And I was like, "In your whole life, I mean, Amazon's been big for at least 10 years, 15. I was like, how have you not used it once?"
I kind of respect him for that.
Well, it is kind of a cool thing.
What, is he doing it like to
Prove a point or like
prove a point?
protest?
To protest it?
No, he was just like, I just don't have a need for it.
good for him?
Clap it up for that guest who said he has never used Amazon. Me and
that
Ashley, on the other
guest.
hand, we need Amazon. I can order it the same day and get it too quick.
Yes.
I just press purchase and I've already got it.
It's incredible.
My dad asked me if I wanted Chinese food, and I had to say no. Heartbreak emoji, heartbreak emoji, heartbreak emoji, heartbreak emoji. Well, don't laugh at the tweeter. Obviously something is wrong.
She had to say no.
That is so sad. I wonder, Have you ever been in a position where you were so sad you said no to Chinese food?
Where I was so sad I had to say no to Chinese food?
Yeah.
Probably, like,
That must
so
have been
many years to
real.
look back on. Maybe just sad because like my body can't handle wishy-washy Chinese food anymore.
Yeah, it's got to be that real elite quality.
There's
Chinese.
a spot right down the street from me, and they don't wear gloves. They don't use gloves,
Real authentic.
and I'll watch them do it,
Yeah.
and I'm like, should I say something? I'm like, no, I'm not gonna be a Karen about it. Like that's the thing now too. Like I'm always afraid I'm gonna
Never
come
wanna be
across
a
as like a bitchy like white girl. Like, excuse me,
it's so
can you
tough, Ashley.
can you put some gloves on?
But see, that's a whole other great discussion, which we can dive into briefly, because your health matters.
Yes,
And your safety
yeah.
matters, Ashley. So, of course, I am never going to say, I support Karens, but if it's your food and you paid for it, I believe you have the right to say, hey, I know my mom does it, but there's not really a black Karen.
Like if I was if I was a big burly dude and I said, hey, you need to put gloves on,
Yeah.
I would have I would have the
Right.
protection of like
Of being
a
a big-
body.
Oh, yeah, big dude,
My
yeah.
body Ody is so little.
No, do not believe her. No, I think in that case, you definitely have the right to say, yo,
You're right. I'm gonna go
Yo.
back to that Chinese restaurant
back.
tonight. I'm gonna be like, put gloves
put
on
them
this
gloves
time.
on. Listen to the last talk show in action. Put them gloves on. So you said you have possibly been in a situation where you said no to Chinese food, which is very sad. Gosh, but on the regular, I know you don't say no often to Chinese food.
No.
You can't say no
I
to
don't
Chinese
really
food.
say no to much. Everything's an experience.
I mean, and Chinese food
Even
is
if
so
it's bad.
good.
It
Now, where are
is.
you going? Okay, now I want to talk about chain Chinese food. Where are you going?
I always go to Panda Express because it's super convenient, but it always
Panda's good.
it
Panda's
always
good.
makes me sick every time.
Another guest said that yesterday.
And as soon as like I sit down with it, and maybe after like a few bites, I'm like, yeah, I'm in the clear.
Yeah.
And then right after it's all done, like the last grain of rice has hit my mouth. I'm like, yeah, I feel sick.
Oh, not Panda. Yeah, that's a tough one. I know Panda will. I think it's because I get so much spicy mess.
Yeah.
For some reason, that just hits your stomach like nothing else.
It does.
And I don't want to get too graphic, but Taco Bell, similar experience.
Oh, yeah.
Let's go to the next tweet. Very excited for it. I'm too smart for the dumb people, but too dumb for the smart people.
Absolutely.
No, Ashley.
Ride that medium wave.
Please don't tell me. Do you fit into that? Do you agree with shower thoughts, the weird world?
Well, it's funny because I always think if you say you are something, it means you're not. Or if like you have to tell someone like, oh, I'm really smart.
Yeah, then you're not.
It likely
that
means
smart.
you're not.
Yeah, you're kind of not confident.
And then if you're saying like, oh, I'm dumb, it's a little too self-deprecating.
Yeah.
And then it's
that's
like, oh,
true.
this young lady doesn't have self-esteem.
Yep,
Like,
yep. So you can't win.
her opinion doesn't matter.
Right.
at
So you
all.
can't speak about yourself. So what is it
But-
best to do? I mean, just
I
not
always
talk.
I always like to kind of stay like in the middle ground of like I
Yeah.
know what I know, I don't know what I don't know, and there's still plenty more to know. And I'm looking forward to being an old wise woman one day.
Yes.
You
yes,
know?
Yes. That's a beautiful-
Read books,
That's what
guys.
they say. I need to get more reading.
Yeah.
done. I really do.
I notice like when I'm just scrolling and I'll get like sucked into Reddit, like sites like that, and I'm like, I can just feel myself getting dumber. Like I can just
Yes, social
feel my
media,
brain
I
gasping
think it's
for
dumbing
oxygen.
down society.
Yeah.
It's just a shame.
There's so much to access in here, and when
yes.
you're only using a portion of it, it's like if you don't use it, you lose it.
Yes.
And it works very much with your brain.
Yes. Clap it up for Ashley. She's so intelligent. She's part of the smart people. She wouldn't be
so
saying that
smart.
if she wasn't. She wouldn't be saying that if she wasn't. I believe this may be our last tweet.
Okay.
Sketchy Craigslist ads give me such a rush. I like to type the number into my phone and hover my thumb over the call button. It drives me wild. Ashley, what are your thoughts? Because you said you do shop on Craigslist. Craigslist is crazy.
Craigslist is crazy.
Crazy.
I've met some great people off Craigslist, like through sales and
too.
stuff.
Yeah.
Sometimes you meet like pretty lonely people selling things, and then they just like keep texting
They want to be
you.
a friend. Yeah. I don't like that actually. I'm like, once we're done, please don't text me again.
I know, and then I always feel obligated. I'm like, oh man, this person really
Yeah, because they sold me that couch that I needed in a crunch.
Yeah.
At a discounted price.
But I've never had like a bad experience. My mom wanted to get a dog off Craigslist, and she went to go meet up with the man who was selling it.
Yeah.
And she was waiting in her car, and she brought someone along with her, like just in case.
Yeah.
And it was so sketchy. So another car like pulled up next to her, and they were kind of just like checking her out, and saw that I think she was with somebody else. And so she had this whole idea that they were gonna like mug her and take her money, and that there was like no dog involved or anything.
No.
Yeah. So when it like hit that close to home, I'm like, oh yeah, I should probably be a little bit like more careful.
Yes, boo.
And now,
I
whenever I get something now, I always have someone with me. I never.
Thank you, and that's so smart, because I know when I had to go on Craigslist, me and my brother had to go pick up all the stuff, because it can be crazy. Be careful on Craigslist. That's the motto and the message of this episode. Be careful on Craigslist.
Yes.
Let's do it. Is there anything else? Live studio audience, anything else? Okay, clap it up for the lovely Ashley Fountain. She didn't need another guest. She analyzed beautifully, and oh my God.
It's you.
Clap it up for her. Oh my gosh. Let's get zoomed in on that lovely artwork. Oh my gosh. Ashley, you are so incredibly talented. Ashley, thank you so much for that lovely gift. May I keep it?
You're going to have it.
Well, I need to pay you for that.
No,
Thank
you
you
do not.
so much,
This is
Ashley.
great.
What an honor and a privilege.
Thank you so
Oh my
much.
gosh.
I'll let you do the jagged part.
Live studio, can you just give me one more clap as I look? Wow, she made me look better here. I wish I looked like this. Wow, Ashley, thank you so much.
Absolutely,
for coming on. What
this
an
was a
honor and a
blast.
privilege. You need to get yourself done for a pretty penny. So, Ashley, would you please tell the viewer, how do we find you?
Oh, you can find me on Instagram at Fountain of Me. Like water fountain of me.
Clap it up for Ashley one more time. She's amazing. You need to get something like this done. Follow her, check her out, and continue to like, subscribe, comment to the Last Talk Show so we can bring you more heat. But Ashley, thank you so much.
Thank
what
you
an
so
honor.
much.
I do have to say, I love to end out each episode with a joke. Do you have a joke?
Do I have a
Do you
joke?
have a joke that you would like to share?
All right. You know, they say that, you know how they say like a baby's brain is a lot like a sponge?
Yes.
It's nothing like a sponge. They make your dishes dirtier. I do not recommend them. Never buy a baby's brain as a sponge.
That was very creative. That's witty. See, that makes you think. Thank you, Ashley. That was good. That was good.
It's a little dark.
Yeah, well, it's kind of true, too. So continue to check us out. We love you. Thank you, folks, for watching. And so good day, BCG. Thank you. Ashley, thank you so much.
This is so fun.
This is amazing.
Yeah, this is great.
Hi, my name is Little Pointer, and I would really like it if you like, subscribe, and shared. And check out our other videos here, 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 and here. See ya.